Representing the 17 to 24 foot class in the bay boat category, the Ranger 2360 Bay Ranger has an overall length of 23 feet 5 inches, a beam of 8 feet 4 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 300. Built for a dry, comfortable ride inshore and offshore, she has a draft of 16 inches, a dead rise of 14 degrees, a dry weight of 3,400 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 81 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, George Labonte and Rick Riles.
George, we're here today on the Ranger 2360. I think it's impossible, if you look back at the history of fishing, to draw a line from rowboats to today without seeing a Ranger footprint every step of the way.
Oh, absolutely, Rick. 100% agree with you. You know, one of the things, times are changing, fishing's changing, the way we fish is changing, and Ranger has been there every step of the way, changing with the times.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of evolutionary things going on. It never used to be families on the water all the time, but I tell you what took me from the get-go with this boat. We know the dimensions, okay? It's a 2360. Gosh, it's big.
It is big, Rick. Actually, for a 23-footer, there's a lot of room inside this boat. It's very stable and very solid, but really, really seaworthy, too. I mean, this is a much bigger boat, by my mind, when you're in it running than when you're standing here looking at it on the beach.
Finally, I think it's time to get on board, and let's take this thing apart piece by piece.
Okay, Rick, we said that times are changing and boats are changing with them. This boat, raised deck, which gives you a little bit of storage underneath it, actually a great deal of storage underneath it, but also it's not raised all the way up, it's a recessed deck. You can put your toes up against it, you don't feel like you're gonna fall off the boat.
And you're right, you can store everything you need for the weekend under this deck, and you got plenty of room.
In addition to all these boxes, of course, what do we have to have here?
We have to have a pedestal seat. George, I'm telling you, I can see a 72-foot Ranger, okay, long-range sport fisherman. It's got a pedestal seat on the bow.
I guarantee
it's still a Ranger.
Rick, another thing that really jumps out at me here is the size of this console. For a 23-foot boat, this thing is exceptionally large, but have a look at this.
Oh, let me tell you, I love a front door opening.
I mean, there's plenty of room to store stuff and put a porta potty in there. You've got all kinds of space to store things that you want to keep dry. It's really neat.
But it's not too big for the boat. This top is so big, okay, that it gives you the kind of shade you need, but it's so easy to fish around.
You know what I love about it is it's long. It carries all the way from this front seat to behind the helmsman. At the same time, you've got this shade, but it doesn't creep out into the fishing space on the boat.
Let's work our way back. The console gets more impressive the further back you go. George, we see more guys every year coming down from their big sport fish boats, getting into boats like this that they can still fish offshore if they want to. Nobody's quite ready to give up that neat teak finish yet, are they?
Yeah, it dresses this boat up really nice.
You've got it in a few places, you've got it on your footrest here too, but it's not overstated. It just makes the helm look so classy.
It is a classy accent, I agree.
Back on the size of this console again, George, it's plenty wide enough for two big screens.
Oh yeah.
Plus you've got a windshield that actually comes around and comes back that helps keep them dry.
Rick, when you get inside of this leaning station here, you're gonna find all your batteries. You're gonna find your bait well pump, which is in a great location. It's a cassette pump. You can easily swap the pump out. If you're fishing in the middle of the day and your pump dies, spin the pump off, cut 2 wires, put it back together, and you're back in business.
George, I really like the integrated live well system like this. For one thing, it's very easy to get a bait out of there.
I love being able to stand up and get my bait out of there. That is a big plus for me.
We got 30 gallons of water in here. That's a lot of weight.
240 pounds.
Right. Do we get a little better center of gravity if we move it forward like this?
Absolutely. Better hole shot, not having that additional weight back here, for sure.
And you know how much I love sight fishing. What a perfect setup. Your rod is right here. Your pitch bait can go in the well. There's not even a standpipe for him to get around. Every year it seems like they tweak this stuff and they use space a little bit better. All the way from the lower casting platform up front to the solid transom, there's a reason why the stuff on this boat works. As a total package, it comes together awfully well for a 23-foot boat.
It does. It's really thoughtfully laid out.